Paul Finebaum this week had some interesting comments. He said, I don't think Tennessee is elite, but I believe the schedule is manageable. They're going to have to beat somebody. What I mean by that is either Georgia or Florida. And I think Georgia is going to be the more likely to win early rather than versus Florida late. I think 9-3 is doable. Tyler, something stands out to me about this. I think 9-3 is doable as well. Yeah, they're going to have to beat somebody that they're an underdog to do it. Got it. Georgia is more likely to win. Again, it's at home, but Georgia is more likely to win for Tennessee than Florida late in the season. Your thoughts on that? I think that's crazy. Am I wrong?
No, I disagree with that 100%. You got to look at everything that's going to be going into the Florida season at that point in time. They will start 2-0 with games against Long Island and then South Florida, but they're going to go through a 4-game stretch against Texas, against some of those heavy opponents, going to College Station. They start the season 2-4 before they go into their open date. There's a chance they've popped Billy Napier by then. You're going down in November to a Florida location where the fans are already checked out. They're already waiting on the defending national champions to hit the basketball floor. I just don't think Tennessee and Georgia right now, we sat here and we did the most interesting games on your show 2 weeks ago. And I think that the Georgia game is below the other two big ones like Alabama and like Florida this year for obvious reasons. If they had a healthy Bru McCoy, if they had a healthy Miles Kitselman, if Joey Aguilar had more than 106 days since he actually got feet on campus, then maybe we could put Georgia back on the table. We talked about it during the Sports Source Digital Network as well. That difference in the last 4 road trips for Georgia coming to Knoxville, best predictor of the future's the past.
Yeah, it's 41-10. 41-10, yeah.
So sorry, there's just a whole lot of factor in. I get what he's saying, 9-3's on the table, but not beating Georgia to start the SEC.
Well, I would say this. We had that narrative about Florida going into last year.
Yes.
And they actually played better as the year went on.
Sure did.
You also gave some points why I think there's a little bit of validity to Georgia. Because
so you agree with Finebaum?
I don't, but I'm just saying that it's in the conversation because of the uncertainty of Jermon McCoy's health. What if he's not playing? Joey Aguilar may still need some time to learn how to operate this offense and not turn the ball over. So those are things that put it in question. I'm sure part of it as well is Georgia uncertainty at quarterback also. But I think the overriding factor is I think Georgia is going to be a better team than Florida, home or away, time of the schedule. That's why I still think Georgia's more
They've still got more talent now than Florida does. Even though, it's interesting, there was a top 35 player list done around the SEC. The Athletic did it this week. Georgia had 5 players top of the league. Florida had 5 players on the top 35 players list, tied with Georgia for tops in the league. Josh, which is more likely, beating Georgia here early or beating Florida there late?
Well, Tennessee's trying to do something it hasn't done in a long time with either one. It hasn't beaten Georgia anywhere anytime since Juwan Jennings' Hail Mary catch 9 years ago. It hasn't beaten Florida in Gainesville since 2003. So both are tall tasks when you look at the history, but I still look at Georgia's roster and think that's better overall, deeper. And to the Jermon McCoy point, Tennessee has questions that have to be answered. Tennessee, I think, is a team that you expect to be better as the season goes along, again, not knowing what will happen with injury luck and all that stuff. But with a young offense and a new quarterback, it's going to take time for that to come together as the season goes along. So I think winning on the road at Florida in November is still more likely than beating Georgia. Odds makers would agree as well. You can find lines on both games, and odds makers would say the same.
The only thing I could add advantage Tennessee in that game, it will be Gunnar Stockton's first true road game. Took over in Atlanta for Carson Beck. They went neutral side against Notre Dame. Comes to Knoxville. It's the first time he's really going to look around and hear a crowd that's not going to be team-friendly for him. And that's big because you just don't know what the pressure is going to look like for a young guy at quarterback for Georgia.
Well, does he Jackson Arnold?
There you go. Great point.
I also don't think they have to win one of those 2 games to get to 9-3. I mean, the toughest game would be Oklahoma, and then you take care of the rest of your business on the schedule. Now,
I think it's interesting he didn't have Alabama in there.
Yeah,
Georgia,
that's true.
I think Alabama, you're more likely to win at Alabama than you are Georgia here, too, I would say, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I know it's on the road, but right now, Georgia's got more talent than any of those other programs, in my opinion.
That's what it is to me, because the home-away thing has to matter.
Yeah, I mean, since Tennessee can't win at either of those spots, that has to factor.
The crowd's going to be fired up. It's going to be a Checker-Nealon game, all of that. And the Gunnar Stockton on the road aspect, but he'll have a lot of talent around him when he walks out on the field, and Kirby Smart's had a lot of success everywhere.